Is Donald Trump really as popular as election polls make him out to be? Does Bernie Sanders' so-called political revolution have the support he believes it does? Well, the candidates in the U.S. presidential election get their first test Monday night in the state of Iowa. Bruce Harrison is live in the studio with me. Bruce, let's get things started with what exactly the Iowa caucuses are.
Sure, Connyoung. Basically, groups of people throughout the state gather in what are called precincts. And what they do is they decide to support either a Republican or a Democratic candidate. Republicans and Democrats caucus separately. To put it simply, it's the first step nationwide in deciding who the parties are going to ultimately nominate to square off for the presidency in November.
Bruce, there's always a lot of hype leading up to Iowa. How important are the caucuses here in the nomination process?
It's hard to say. Overall, if you win in Iowa, it doesn't necessarily mean the party is going to support you at the nominating conventions this summer, at the party's national conventions, though the delegates usually do toe the party line. But there's a saying about the Iowa caucuses, and that's that if you finish at least in the top 3 among your party, then it's at least not going to be the end of your campaign. Most importantly, though, the caucuses are essentially the first test of actual voter sentiment. They're an indicator if all of the things a candidate has said during the campaign up to that point in time actually hold up in the eyes of some voters. All the candidates have been making their final pitches over the last day, with supporters explaining who they're going to caucus for.
I love being a part of this. This is what it's all about, the political revolution. I don't think Hillary has that going on. And the young voters. He's turning out the young voters. He's like the cool grandpa.
That Sanders supporter was referring to former U.S. Secretary of State Clinton. She argues Sanders, her main challenger, is out of touch with reality. She's currently edging him by just a few points in pre-caucus polls.
Bruce, what about the Republicans? Does Donald Trump look like he's going to leave Iowa victorious?
Well, up to this time in national polls and in Iowa, he's been leading the race, and he's got about a 5-point lead over Ted Cruz, Texas Senator Ted Cruz, heading into the voting in Iowa. Behind Cruz, in third place right now, is Florida Senator Marco Rubio, who once led.
2016 is a referendum on our identity as a nation and as a people. And that's why we have to win. I'm asking you to caucus for me because if I'm our nominee, we win.
Ultimately, Iowa only sends 1% of delegates to nominating conventions, but the momentum a win can provide candidates can impact who lands in the White House.